Like, if you tried to kill Lily right now, she'd totally just let you kill her.
Oh, I got so pissed at her this week. She
She
peed right on my bed, right in front of me, like staring at it. I came out of my bathroom into my bedroom, and as I turned the corner kind of and looked, she's just looking at me, and she's in her pee stance. She's sitting on a pile of the clothes that I had just put there that I'd taken out of the laundry. So I thought she was peeing on my clothes, but so I grabbed whatever I could find, threw it at her. She takes off running. And I look, and she peed on my bed, not really on my clothes, but still, now I put all my clothes back, and I just washed them. I put them back in the thing. And grabbed her. After she peed, went and grabbed her, put her face in it, and smacked her. And she got so pissed, she ran outside, and I didn't see her for like 3 hours, and I felt really bad, and I thought she might have run away forever. And then, every hour that night, I'd go out and be like, Lily, I'm sorry, Lil, come on. She never came, and then the next morning when I woke up, she was in bed with me. So, she forgave me, I guess. And I guess I forgave her.
How does she get in your house?
She has a cat door.
Oh, all right.
She has keys. Yeah, I know. I know it's the wrong thing to do. It was just I was in the heat of the moment, and I was angry.
Sure.
And she'd done it a few times. I apologized to her. I think we're okay.
Yeah, you're probably going to go to jail, though, now that it's on this recording.
Think I should not include it?
Probably
for my own safety.
Shouldn't include it in our Sunday afternoon in the mag room.
All around the world you can hear them. Hey, hey, hey. Talking about news and kind of funny stuff. Hey, hey, hey. Mag room. Mag room. The mag room. The mag room.
With Mark and I feel like Mr. Rogers lately.
Because?
So I don't have, I tore my calf muscle. I'm past the boot. I know I have to tell you because you don't always remember the things that we talk about. That's part of your...
No, I remember everything we talk about. I listened to it 10 times. But like a month from now, I won't remember.
I see.
I remember last week you talking about your calf being better.
Yeah.
I remember writing, I remember next to the story I put the letters EH, which means Like, I didn't really think it was really worth putting in there. So I don't think it's going to make it into this episode. I know I had something called Jared's Calf.
All right. So I get home. I have to wear sneakers all the time. So that's what he said for the next 3 weeks.
Like when you shower and everything?
Well, he did. He said when I shower, I should sit down. And I don't like sit. I'm like, what do you mean sit down? I don't have like an old person shower. He even said when at night, I assume you're older, you go to the bathroom once in a while at night. He said, put on your sneakers to go to the bathroom at night. So, I don't do that either.
You're the oldest person in the world.
But I wear it around the house, so when I get home, I change out of my sneakers I wear outside into like one of my other pairs of sneakers that I've been wearing inside. So I feel like...
Your shower sneakers? That's cool.
Mr. Rogers came in the house and put on his sweater and change his shoes into his indoor shoes.
Sing a little song about the last time you fell in the shower.
In the house.
I've never actually bought you a pair of shoes, right?
No.
But your name in my phone is Jared 10.5W 10.5W. I should buy you a pair of walking around the house sneakers. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what to look for. What do you like in your sneakers?
You
don't give a shit about style. I know that. What do you like? Do you like running shoes?
We already learned that from my hat, right?
Running shoes? Do you like the running shoe mold of...
They have to have some support.
Yeah.
So I guess that's running.
Kind of. I always think of that as better for walking. Running shoes. They make walking shoes, but I don't know that I've ever bought walking shoes before.
Can you not run in walking shoes?
I guess you can, but you're really not supposed to.
Because in running shoes, you can walk, I think.
You're not supposed to, but...
See?
Yeah.
Like you only can run in your running shoes?
What are you wearing right now? Sneaks?
No, I got hiking shoes on, actually.
You've been hiking around your house. You're taking this seriously.
I am.
Okay.
I got to go up and down the stairs, man.
Okay, you do have a 2-story house.
That's great. Yeah, I feel like I should come home and sing to my kids, "Won't you be my neighbors?" and then put on my...
I had a weird neighbor interaction this week. Do you want me to...
Yes, that's a good segue, right?
That was. Okay. let's see, how do I do this? Because my mom, maybe mom, don't listen to this story because it involved. I dipped my toes into the world of drug dealing this week, basically.
Oh my, what?
Yeah. My neighbor, all right, so it was Tuesday evening. I got home from work. I hadn't washed my truck in forever, inside and outside. So I was just...
Okay.
I go inside, put on my sneakers to walk into my bedroom, take those sneakers off, put on my working on my truck sneakers, then I put on some sweatpants and stuff, go out, and I start to fill a bucket to wash my car. Put some soap in a bucket, pour water in. And as I'm doing it, I hear...
Mark! Hey, Mark!
Nobody ever comes to my house just to drop in and say hi to me. So I look at the top of my driveway, and it's a guy that lives... He's a guy that lives on my street. For the sake of the story, let's see, I'm going to make his name Baltazar.
Okay.
So I look up at the top of my driveway, and I see my neighbor Baltazar up there, and I say, hey, what's up? And he said...
Hey, can you come up here for a second?
And I was like, okay. So walk up to the top of the driveway, and as I'm walking up, he goes,
Oh, you're barefoot.
And I said, yeah, I was about to wash my truck. I took my shoes off because I'm spraying water on it and everything. Why would it matter that I'm not wearing shoes, Baltazar? And
He's like, oh, well, I was hoping we could talk kind of on neutral ground.
And I'm like, okay, what are we talking about? And he's,
you guys gotta go to Switzerland?
What would I do? And he's like,
No, it's not. I'm not. You didn't do anything to me. Whatever. I didn't want anybody to hear the conversation we're about to have.
Oh.
And there's nobody around. I mean, there's nobody anywhere near us. So I'm like,
you never know, Mark, when
true.
they're recording.
So he says,
Can we just talk on my property?
I'm like, okay, and I immediately think, I guess he's probably gonna kill me and say that I was breaking into his house or something.
Why would he make you put your shoes on?
So I don't know.
To kill you.
I surmised later that he wanted me, because he knew he wanted me to walk with him to go have this conversation, and I would have been more comfortable in my last moments on this planet.
I guess that's thoughtful.
On my last moments on this planet, he wanted me to be comfortable walking to my own death. So we walked down to his property, and he says, and this is a guy that...
What's going through your mind right now?
No, I have no idea. So we walked silently, I barefoot, he in shoes. We walked silently to his property, and I'm just looking around, staring at this is already the most I've ever talked to the guy. I've never had more conversation than this conversation.
You don't hang out with Balthy?
Me and Baltazar he's married, I don't know his wife's name, I don't know anything about him.
Okay.
So we walk down to his property, and we have about 2 minutes of just very, like...
Hey, been hot lately, huh?
And he goes...
How about
the Orlando Magic? Yeah, local sports teams are doing pretty well, huh? I gotta quit this drinking, man. It's just tearing me apart. I really gotta quit drinking.
I have no idea. I didn't know he even drank. Let alone had a drinking problem. And then he goes into, he wants to know if I know any way to get him weed. And I'm like, it's basically legal now. You can get a card. You can. I just said his name. I'll have to beep that out. I'm like, I know.
It's great how you want to quit drinking, but he's going to enter another drug.
You don't think that's a good plan? After I told, he told me he didn't want me to tell anybody. I told everybody. My one buddy Phil told me, he's like, that's a great plan. Just substitute one drug for that drug, and then you're not going to get off the first one anyway. Now you're going to be drinking.
Now you have a new one.
Now you're going to be drinking and high all the time. And he just kept emphasizing how little he was going to do it.
Like once a week. I just thought if I could get baked once a week, I can quit the drinking thing.
And he's drunk telling me this. He's looked like he was hearing voices while he was talking to me. He kept he'd look around. And,
what do you think he Googled before he talked to you?
Is my neighbor cool?
Does weed get you to stop drinking? How do I ask my neighbor to get me weed?
So anyway, so I'm like, well, what do you want to do? I said, I know there's everybody out here can get you weed. What do you want? God damn, I keep saying his name. What What do you want? Do you like to smoke it? Do you want I don't even know what all the stuff is with the oils and the wax and the
Gummies.
shatter and and I said, do you like to eat it? I know people that do gummies. He says he wants to eat it. So I said, okay. I don't know, what do you want? Like $50?
$100.
I said, okay, well, I know somebody that makes these things out here. I can ask her, get you $100 worth of stuff. That's what you want me to do.
Yes, that's fine. That's all I want. Something to chill me out.
Anyway, so I say, okay, well, all right, well, I'll text the person I know, and then I'll text you. Send me. I didn't have my phone with me. It was in my house. So I said, send me a text message, and I'll send you a text message tomorrow. I'll text her in the morning and see if she can get this for you or whatever. So he pulls it out of his phone and he sends a text message, and I'm like, how do you already have my number? And he goes,
Yeah.
And I said, are you sure? I don't have your number. I'm positive I don't have your number. And he said,
Yeah, you don't remember from the whole mouse debacle?
So, no, I don't know what the whole mouse debacle was at all. And like I said,
Mickey Mouse?
He's drunk. I can tell he's drunk, but I don't know if he's talking nonsense or what. But
Sure. At this point, you could probably leave and he would forget that he ever talked to you.
So, anyway, he sends a text. He tells me he got my number during the whole mouse debacle. I'm like, okay, well, I guess I don't need to give you my number because during the whole mouse debacle, you were able to get my number. So we'll just leave it at that. And I guess there's this text message on my phone from you.
Did you remind him, or say, can you just remind me what the mouse debacle was? I love hearing that story from you. Could you just tell me it again? So funny.
So anyway, okay, I'll let you know tomorrow. And so I walk back to my house, and I wanted to wash my truck. I got nothing done. This whole thing took 45 minutes. And,
wow.
And by the time I got back to my house, it was dark, so I just put my stuff away, go inside, look at my phone, and I have no text messages on the phone. So this neighbor, I don't know who he texted, but he texted somebody. And that was Tuesday, and it is now Sunday, and I still... Oh, so then I was like, well, now what do I do?
Yeah, what do you do?
He's at home with his wife and kids and all that. So I walked back down to his house. I was like, do I knock on the door? And because I've never been in there, I don't know them.
Sure, yeah.
Hey, I just wanted to give you my phone number, and then
he obviously thought you were somebody else.
I don't, but he's... How? I don't understand who he thought I was.
Did he say your name ever?
Yeah, at the top of the driveway. He yelled,
Mark.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who the mouse debacle person was, but... And they... so I didn't know if I should go in the house, knock on the door, or whatever, so I just wrote a handwritten note that said, hey, this is Mark. Text me. I have a quick question for you. And then I gave him my phone number. And that was Tuesday.
When did you do that?
Tuesday night.
Tuesday?
Yeah, after he left. And I put it in his mailbox, and I haven't heard from him since Tuesday. So.
I actually had one Sisk story that relates to alcohol.
Oh, really?
This Sisk story. I'll just do this one, and then we can go back to something else. There was a study done. You've heard of liquid courage before, I'm sure. So yeah, but what's liquid? What does that mean?
Liquid
If
courage?
Yeah.
Socially lubricates you as far as it takes away
Sure.
your inhibitions.
What about beer goggles?
Beer goggles is when you have sex with a fat girl because you were so drunk that you didn't care anymore.
All right, so they did a study at Stanford Prevention Research Center in California. It said affiliated with the University of Pittsburgh. So they brought in 18 pairs of male friends in their 20s to rate the attractiveness of people they viewed in photos and videos. On one occasion, they were given some alcohol, and they brought them up to the legal limit of being out drunk. And then the other one, they were given non-alcoholic beer. So I don't think they knew which one they had.
Okay.
It wasn't labeled because when you're doing scientific studies this important, you got to make sure there's no bias.
Sure. Need a good control group, right.
Yeah, so the beers aren't labeled, just here's a beer. So what they found, so what do you think they found? So then they tested, they were testing one, how attractive do you think these pictures are?
Skanks are. Yeah.
And then 2, would you have the courage to meet the ones that you found attractive?
You're right, I
So
would.
what do you think they found? You'd be more courageous, right? So you'd say, yes, I'd like to meet that person. And then Beer Goggles would say you rate the people more attractive, right?
Yes.
So the people that were drunk should have higher attractive ratings.
Yes.
And then say yes. Yeah, so one of the 2 happened and the other one didn't. So which one do you think didn't?
The Beer Goggles. They didn't
Yes.
rate people higher.
True. So that's what happened in the study.
So
It says it makes you more likely to approach people, but it doesn't make others seem better looking.
I've never really understood the whole Beer Goggles thing. I don't think you think they're more attractive. I think you just don't care anymore.
Yeah, you do stupid stuff.
Yeah.
So that guy who was drunk had liquid courage. Balthazar
Yeah.
had some liquid courage to come up to you.
Yeah.
He did not think you or the mice were more attractive with the mouse debacle. But it might have given him the courage to try something that
Right.
later became known as a debacle.
I wonder if he'll ever talk to me again. I wonder if he'll remember. I wonder if he remembers it. I don't know. I
He
could.
probably doesn't if you put a note in unless his wife got it and was like, who is this Mark?
Well, that's what I was thinking. Am I now like an enemy of the family? Like, what's Mark putting stuff in the mailbox to you for, Balthazar?
I'm sorry, he told me he would sell me pot. I didn't even ask him.
And then I'm just like the outcast of the neighborhood. Yeah, Mark goes around and tries to recruit people to buy drugs from him.
He saw Balthazar was drunk.
He was the
and knew
cause of
from
the
the mouse debacle.
Mark was the whole cause of the mouse debacle. If you remember.
Wow, you get totally shunned over this one meeting. Did he put a note in your mailbox too, trying
Could
to sell
you Google
stuff?
mouse debacle real quickly and see how well known this thing is? 'Cause I don't know anything about it.
Mice problem comes up.
Yeah.
Let me try mouse ordeal.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure he called it the debacle. And he didn't say what year it was. We can't be.
So there's an article from the LA Times that says Russian mice gerbil dead in 30-day space ordeal. Do you think he really cared about the Russian mice, and that was, you guys had a big conversation about how they died in space, and it really hurt him?
And then for some reason I was like, because the end result of the mouse debacle was he got my phone number. So we were talking about the Russian mice, and I was like, look, if you need anybody to talk to tonight,
Yep.
call me.
This has been hard on us all. Alright, this is like right up your alley. These are kind of stories that you like. So, Sisk story. Title of the article is from Mental Floss. 20 delightful slang terms from the 30s. So I thought I'd read them, and you can either tell me, like, we could just go through them, and if you know them, great. If you don't know them, then you could guess what you think they mean. Some of these you'll know. Like, first one, no good Nick.
No good Nick is somebody that named Nick who very rarely does anything good for society.
It's like a no good Mark.
Yes.
Blowing one's wig.
Let's see.
Like during the
Very
mouse
aggressive.
debacle, Mark blew his wig.
Oh, okay, like lost your mind or what? Gave somebody
really
my phone
excited,
number?
yeah.
Does it mean to give somebody your phone number?
Yeah. 86.
to cancel something.
Yeah, throw out. It was a sold out food item at a restaurant in the 30s.
I've heard that one before.
Boondoggle, you probably know that one.
Like a mess, a convoluted affair.
It was actually, it's originated from the Boy Scouts. It described the braided leather tassels worn by the Boy Scouts.
Okay.
How about a juke?
Like a move, a dance move, maybe?
That was a bar. Actually, a place where people came to eat, drink, and dance.
Okay.
Cockamamie, you know that one, I think.
Nonsense?
That's still around. Yeah. K-lead up.
Say that one more time.
K-lead up. Your friend was K-lead up.
Drunk driving. Drunk.
Just drunk. Gobsmacked.
I feel like I should know this one. Like, surprised?
Yeah, yep. Like when your friend asked you to walk to his yard, you were a bit gobsmacked. Speechless,
okay.
Incoherent.
Okay.
The meat wagon?
The meat wagon would be like a bus full of prostitutes?
Nice. It was actually first synonym for ambulance.
Okay.
And then it became a hearse.
Ah.
Off the cob. That's sort of like the way I wear my sneakers, I guess, or my hats, is off the cob.
Like a dad?
Unfashionable.
Oh, okay. You just have dad style.
A Chicago overcoat. That's just this one.
That sounds like one of those things that when we were in college, they made all the sexual things for the Cleveland steamer and all that. But I'm going to say a Chicago overcoat has to do with being murdered. So like, what are those zip bags? The bags that dead people are put into.
Yeah, really close. It's the coffin.
Okay.
It was a Chicago overcoat.
Okay.
Simpy?
Sippy cup means babies.
No, Simpy. S-I-M-P-Y.
Easy, like dumb.
So, yeah, weak and wimpy.
Okay.
Foolish, simple-minded. Gen Z uses it as someone who is submissive to a potential partner. How about flossing?
Showing off.
Yep. I guess, was it when you flossed those days? Was it like you showed off?
Well, look at me. I have proper dental hygiene tactics.
Yeah, why don't you go? You're so such a over-the-top rich.
That sounded like the wrong word, right? Hygiene tactics. What should I have said?
Just hygiene, I think.
Yeah.
Dental hygiene.
Shut my mouth at the end. Yeah.
The tactics was good though. I mean, there's a war room. You had a lot of discussions about
how are we gonna get to that back tooth right there.
Yeah. I have one back tooth that always bothers me. I'd love some hygiene.
Last week we did a story that I wrote, a sketch that I wrote, and you made me cut it. It was about the adventures of Dave and Rick. It's these two guys that were going to teach the listeners about bird watching, and so I wanted to just do it. I did a new Dave and Rick. You objected to the amount of racism and misogyny that was in there.
You know how I feel about minorities and women. Now you're starting to sound like that idiot woman doctor at hospital who told me I could be arrested for peeing in someone's drink. Rick, don't leave. Look, ever since my ex-boyfriend Darnell left me for a woman who's from another country, I've had a lot of anger. So much anger.
And I really did. I thought it was very minor. So I wrote a new one.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to see if we could do this one. I don't know. We're getting away from the bird stuff, and I like when we learn about birds. So I thought I'd do a new one. We'll try it. And I'll cut it if you don't like it.
Yeah, you did give me. There was a lot of lines where I just like hated.
But they were so it was like so generic and non-comfort. It just said like, you know how I feel about women. You know that I don't like foreigners. It was so stupid. But I thought, okay, it's your call. But here we go. I'm gonna be Dave.
All right.
All right. So this is the Adventures of Dave and Rick, and it's meant to teach you guys about birds.
Volume 2, but the first one published.
Right.
Great.
Hey, it's great that you came to Florida to do some more bird watching, Rick. I trust the last year of therapy has done you well?
Absolutely. I no longer have any feelings of hate at all toward anyone or anything. I love all of God's creations. And if you don't believe in God, well, I love that too.
Awesome juice. Check it out, Rick. An ibis. You don't get to see American white ibises up north, do you?
No! They're mostly found south of Virginia along the coasts. Their white plumage, bright red, orange down, curved bill, And long legs and black wing tips that are usually only visible in flight are really neato.
John James Audubon reported that the American white ibis was hunted and sold in Louisiana and mainly eaten by American Indians. It had orange flesh and a strong fishy taste.
Just to show you how much good my therapy has done me, I'm not even going to make a joke about anything or anyone with a strong fishy taste that I ate when I was a sophomore in college. Last time we went on a birdwatch, I kept making lewd and insensitive jokes about private parts. I knew a horned screamer when I was in college, let me tell you. And her roommate was a copulent squirt. But now I don't.
Good for you, Rick.
Say, Dave, Native American folklore held that the ibis was last to seek shelter before a hurricane, and the first to emerge afterward. The bird was thus a symbol for danger and optimism. For this reason, the University of Miami adopted the American white ibis as its official athletics mascot in 1926.
That's interesting. I didn't know that until just now when you said it to me.
I love teaching people things and learning things too.
It's nice to see that you're studying Native American folklore instead of denigrating it in the town square.
I'm ashamed of the man I used to be when I was Dave in the last time I...
You're going off script.
I'm so glad we switched names, and I'm glad you're so much smarter than me and made me change who I am.
We're going awry.
So that people like me more than they did before, and you became Dave so people would hate you instead.
You know how you told me that the American white ibis became the University of Miami's mascot because it's a symbol for danger and optimism?
Yes.
Is there a bird that Native Americans thought symbolized new beginnings?
Iroquois and Navajo tribes used to see bluebirds in the spring season, which is why they associate them with renewal, new beginnings, and good fortune.
Then I think you're a bluebird, Rick. Or Dave, whoever you want to be.
Dave, old Rick, that's the nicest thing anybody's ever said to me, and I love you for it. In any way that you want to take that love.
Yeah, that was fun, I thought. You weren't offended by that one, were you?
No, that was great.
Okay.
Alright, should we wrap it up?
Yeah.
Produced by Dave and Rick. Theme song by Mega Yellox. Email mugaandcisco@gmail.com. We haven't gotten any emails in a while. We'd love to hear from anyone with some cool ideas. We might have some guests coming up.
Oh, yeah.
A mortician that Mark's trying to get on. And then my friend Mike Croft, who had some feedback for the show we might have on. So,
well, the mortician thing, don't you think it could be an interesting segment where we just talk to people who have jobs that, I mean, I've had the same, my entire working career has been like I've always had a computer in front of me and I just type, and when I was at like Mason it was boring and I just printed not printed, but my job was mainly just to print things out. I hit Control P.
Hey Mark, hey, I gotta print something out. Could you just call Mark?
Do you guys need me to hit Control P? That's it? That's the only reason I'm here? No, I just did report. I don't know. I just did reports and different jobs. I just had boring. Now I deal with customers, so I have some interesting stories. But I think I think it'd be cool to get like different people, just what they do.
Yeah.
What does a mortician do when he goes in the morning? I don't know. Do you have a whole bunch of dead bodies that you didn't get to yesterday? Do they have a freezer? Yeah, what's your busy season? What do you eat for lunch? Do you eat when there's dead people around you? I don't know. I just think there's interesting questions you could ask people about their jobs. So,
what's the hardest job you ever had to like make somebody look good for their coffin?
Yeah. I think it'd be interesting. So I just looked up weird jobs and dangerous jobs. And I thought maybe we could try to find some people to talk to.
Mark wants a new job segment.
I want a new job. We can make a cool Huey Lewis in the news
nice.
Thing.
I like it. Or doesn't George Thorogood already has a job song?
Yeah, a lot of them. But I think they're mostly
get a haircut and get a new job.
And get a mortician's job. Yeah.
Like my big brother Bob.
Is that one of the lines?
I think so.
It's terrible.
I kind of want to look up what the lines are now. Clean your act up and don't be a slob. Get it together like your big brother Bob. Why don't you get a haircut and get a real job?
Well, that Bob line kind of sucks.
And then there's the part at the end. I hit the big time with my rock and roll band. The future's brighter now than I ever planned. I'm 10 times richer than my big brother Bob. But he's got a haircut and has got a real job. Goes in quotes at the end there. So it's actually not a pro get a real job song. Send us a letter. We got a few letters. Let's keep some more coming. Put your phone down.
Don't kill your wife.
Definitely don't do that. Don't do that. Don't get into any mouse play or mouse debacles.
Yeah.
Please.
You'll end up buying your neighbor becoming a drug dealer.
Yes. If you've learned anything from this episode, so don't do it. I was trying to think of one of those cool 30s slangs to use, but I couldn't remember any of them. It'll be a boondoggle.
The mouse
if you get
boondoggle
Kaylee'd up, then you'll end up with a boondoggle. And then after the mouse debacle, you'll be gobsmacked when the guy asks you to come talk to him. So better to act off the cob.
Like your big brother Bob.
And if that doesn't work, you can always stick with the mag room. And everything else
is cream cheese.
Ooh, ooh, I like my groom. I like my groom. Ooh, ooh, my groom is good. My groom is good. Ooh, ooh, I like my groom. I like my groom. Ooh, ooh, my groom is good. My groom is good. The my groom's good. Ooh, ooh, I like my groom. I like my groom. Ooh, ooh, my groom is good. My groom is good.
How do I ask my neighbor to get me weed?